Hi there, here we go with round 67 of Skip versus Ernestine. We're about to answer many of your questions about the real world and, of course, the unreal world that we observe.
Real World was on MTV.
That's true, but first a few of your reactions to our pre-actions, as in our opinions from last week. Sandra O. Allen says, what Kylie Kelsey said was crude. I don't need to speak that way to make a point. And I think
agree.
that was your point, right?
Kind of.
Then at PNW Me Ma says, Kylie Kelsey is hilarious, all caps. Next to Taylor, she's absolutely the biggest star of the Kelsey family.
Wow,
Okay,
I don't know.
that's
Do they have a
another
dog?
opinion.
Maybe the dog
Touche.
should have a show.
From X, this is the at Roush twins. Kylie Kelsey was able to do what she's done before Taylor Swift entered her life.
I don't think.
Not true.
She
I'm
didn't
sorry,
have. She
Roush
didn't have
twins.
a show.
She didn't do any of that,
She
which
didn't have
brings us
anything
to
before.
V Larnell 45, who counters. I never heard of Kylie until
That's
Taylor
true.
came along.
That's
Bingo.
the truth.
Which brings us to at Sean Doe, Dough 25. I am so sick of hearing about the Kelseys
you.
and the Swifts. I wish
Thank
they
you.
would all just go away.
Thank you.
I don't. I like to talk about them.
I wish
I
they would
avidly follow them.
go sit
They're
on
our
an iceberg
version
and
of
float out
British
to sea.
royalty. You know, we
Are you
accept-
kidding me?
That's all we have. We don't
Well,
have.
I have a lot more in my
dukes
life
and
than
duchesses
those
and-
people, and I don't want to know about those people,
Right.
but we're forced to. We have a little
By the way,
world here.
she's here.
Hazel's listening very intensely.
She won't last very long because Mom
She'll
will
go, and I'll
put her
have
in
to
the
let her out. She'll go
doghouse.
pee, whatever. But for now, she's okay.
This is from YouTube as we change the subject. This is from at Jan Ryan, who says, Skip, I understand how important the NBA playoffs are to your historical career, but it can't be more important or more impactful than your time with your wife.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. That's
Man,
very
you
nice
put
and
me on
very,
notice.
very observant.
She's 1A to the number one. That's the NBA playoffs. That's she hates
Please,
that
I don't
comment.
even
that
care. It's ridiculous, but you could say I'm 1Z. I don't care. It makes no difference to me.
You're it.
It makes no difference to me. I don't really care. I know who I am, and I don't have to be
I am
validated
so
by
good.
you.
I didn't say you needed.
No,
to be
I know, but validated is like, oh, she's 1A, 1B, 1C.
Okay, but you don't ever give me enough credit for this is my job and my
So
life.
what? Everybody has a job in
Okay,
life, but
mine's kind of 24/7 because these games.
Well, that's
once
your
the NBA starts,
obsessive
the
craziness.
first 3 weeks are killers.
I know,
for
but
me.
not everybody
I
is
don't
as
sleep.
obsessive. Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, because it's just game after game after game, and I'm responsible for every
Well, there are a
single
lot of people
game.
that don't do that.
And yet, you don't give me enough credit for how often there'll be a marginal game that I think I can get away with only seeing the end of, and I'll just monitor on my phone while we're watching Jeopardy.
Right, like
or
I don't
whatever
see
it was.
that. He's
Yeah.
sitting there
Okay.
looking, and then I'm like,
No, but
hey,
I
did you
just
see what
glance,
just happened?
okay, and then all of a sudden I'm so skilled at, I glance at just the right time,
please.
and wait a second, it's 112 to 112 with 34
You're
seconds
so
left.
skilled at
And I say, whatever movie,
multitasking.
we've got to stop the
Right,
movie.
we got to stop the movie, and the most
we
important
have to
part, we have
switch
to
back
watch
to
this
real
for the last
TV,
3
and
seconds.
I got to find the game wherever it is.
which turns into 2 minutes equal 22 minutes, and
That's
then
true.
it's too late to watch the rest of the movie.
That's not
but
true. We always
whatever.
get back and
anyway,
watch the rest of the movie.
Thank you
but
for that comment.
I'm very
That's very
good
sweet.
at juggling,
And I'm very good at putting up with it.
and she is the most important thing to me. She
But
just
I am
is.
I put up with way much more than
Okay, but
most.
You hate the
people
story,
do.
but the first night we
Oh,
went
I don't even
out,
want to hear it. The 1A,
I
1B.
know, but I told her, I declared up front, I said, no matter what happens, and I thought this was going to happen. I just felt like we were
I didn't
destined.
think it was going to happen.
I did.
Not me.
Well, I wouldn't have gone out if I didn't think it was
Well,
going
you
to
don't go out knowing, oh, I have a date. I'm going to marry that person.
No, I thought it was love at first sight. I thought
That's
the
a new
moment I
one.
saw you in the green room
Yeah.
of my show, Cold Pizza, and I'm in a commercial break and the clock is ticking, I just looked in your eyes and I thought, yeah.
That's the first time I'm hearing this. Wow.
No, I told you that. I've said
I
it
never
1,000
heard that
times.
love at first sight. Yeah, I thought you said, oh, she had good legs or something.
No, I didn't say good legs. I said you had great spirit,
Oh,
and it was your
spirit.
spirit.
Well, I
that
also had
attracted
good
me.
legs.
Okay, but I didn't care about that at that moment. I didn't see that. You were acting like I just wanted your body, and I didn't
nothing
because
wrong with
it
that.
didn't start that way. It didn't.
No, but
It
either
was
way.
slow developing, and for
developing.
the right, I'd like to think the right
Okay.
reasons.
Well,
And yet I told you we were eating a slice of what
right,
kind?
it was pizza,
But
whole wheat pizza.
Whole wheat pizza
On First Avenue in
on
67th.
First Avenue in New York City, and I just declare up front because I knew this was going to come sooner than later, and I
Right.
thought, well, I'll just divulge. I'll just spill it out on the table,
Let it
maybe
roll.
vomit it out on the table.
Let it
and I
fly.
said, no matter what happens from this point forward, you'll always
It would be
be
1A
to
my
my career
number
because
one.
I'm married to my career, but I have been from the start,
Right,
and I
good.
think I've done well by you. I mean, I've given.
You've done well by me because I put up with all of this lunacy,
It's not lunacy
complete
to me.
lunacy of sports that comes out of my butt after a while.
It does.
Every
She wrote a
minute
book about
of
it
the
called Balls.
right. I wrote a book about
My
balls called Balls: How to Keep Your Relationship Alive with you when you live with a sports obsessed guy.
And she was talking about balls as in
Different
balls
kinds
to
of
throw
balls for
and
sports.
balls of testosterone.
Right, balls.
Yes, those kinds of.
Anyway, I should win the award.
You win. You're a
Okay,
saint.
thank you.
I tell you that all the time.
Right.
Now, a hard left turn into
Okay.
@CalCarl9 who says, thank you for standing with Jews in Israel.
Oh.
I always have and always will. The Bible says. That's
Thank
what
you.
I believe.
And
She's
I am
by
Jewish,
birth.
so there you go.
Mom Jewish, father Italian, not Jewish. All right, before we get to your first question, a quick thought about what happened at Coachella on Saturday night. Justin Bieber performed. He was the show-stopping featured act at Coachella.
Amongst other, Sabrina Carpenter.
Well, they were,
lots
but it
of
was-
different people.
It was Justin Bieber was the headliner.
Yeah.
And for headlining, he reportedly was paid $10 million, which created some uproar on social media because even though he performed some of his new stuff from Swag and Swag 2, he resorted, so he did bring out the kid Leroy. Remember we saw the
Yeah, we
documentary.
saw the documentary.
Michael
yeah,
Ratner's
Michael
documentary.
Ratner,
We
yeah.
went to the premiere
The whole
of that.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, the kid Leroy. He
Yeah.
wasn't at the premiere. We saw his parents were at the premiere.
He was there.
He was there.
He was there with his parents.
Oh, did we? We did
Yeah,
see
we
him.
did
Oh, I'm
see
sorry,
him.
we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that
But-
it was like a big thing, but
Bieber brought him out on stage.
yeah.
But then the bulk of the presentation was Bieber alone on stage, no dancers, no big set
a laptop.
decoration, with a laptop and a little desk,
Ridiculous.
wearing his hood,
Ridiculous.
right? And he with a big screen behind
Projecting
him,
his-
he projects YouTube up on the screen, and he literally is scrolling on YouTube, calling out his early hits.
It was so ridiculous. Katy Perry was in the audience and she was like, I
was.
hope they
She
don't
was
show commercials.
Taking little shots. Well, she said, I hope he has premium
Right,
YouTube, so
right.
there'll be no
But
commercials.
it's
right?
it's ridiculous.
She was taking small shots, but
Craziness.
he's playing like his breakthrough breakouts, Baby and
Yeah.
With You, and
I'm not a big Bieber fan, so
Okay.
I'm sorry.
you know
mean,
the early Bieber stuff. I thought it was pretty good, but you have to accept that he's just a little boy.
I
He's
still see
literally
him
a
sitting in the
little
first
boy.
video with his
Okay,
mother,
Okay, I got it.
you know.
And yet he had a little boy soprano voice.
Yeah, he was like a boy band boy.
He was a boy band boy by himself.
Yeah.
And he actually had a nice voice. It was a good voice, and it was
like a sweet little.
It was sweet, and it was a connecting voice for little girls because they're gonna fall head over heels in puppy love with Bieber.
Well, he was a
who's-
YouTube sensation.
He's a teen heartthrob. Well, YouTube made him.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he
what
was-
I'm saying.
Okay, so I thought it was genius on his part. It's an easy way to earn $10 million, but he's just sitting there. And don't forget this, in 2023, I guess he had some financial problems. I don't know the background of it, but he sold his entire catalog for $200 million, which seems low to me. At the time when I read it, I was like, for only $200 million? Because it's everything before 2021.
Okay.
And the breakthroughs were back in like 2009, you know, in that range. He's still a little kid from Canada, and he's singing sweet love songs to his girls, you know, and it clicked, it connected.
To me, he was never a. He didn't have teen pop idol looks.
Okay.
He was not.
I thought he had kind of a
the
sweet
realm
little
of,
face.
of
I don't know.
you know, New Kids on the Block. They were
He's
cute.
got the bangs and
yeah, he
I
was
don't know.
not to me a teen idol, a pop star idol.
Okay.
He just was cute.
And you know teen idols
I
because
do.
you once dated
Yes,
one.
yes.
But see, this is the point. This is the problem, and this is what he is going through. He's now 32, and you're not a kid anymore.
No, and he has a wife and a child.
And has a
now.
wife and a child.
And she's now making more money than him.
Probably she is.
Well, with what she just
I know,
sold,
I know. I
her
got
makeup
it. I
line.
got it. And her show, her YouTube show.
Yeah.
But the point is that Bieber had enough sort of presence of mind to say, well, wait a second. All those people who came to see me, they're believers. You know, they're from the start,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're teenage girls who are now, 30-something-year-old women, and they have children, and they're trying to introduce Justin Bieber to their kids. And here's the truth about all these groups. Like we always talk about the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the people from our time.
Yeah.
And they play, even our man Lil Wayne, that he plays concerts, and he's making album after album, and it's all really great. But the truth is, the original Lil Wayne fans, if they pay a lot of money to go see him, they just want to hear Carter 3. They want to hear Lollipop. They want to hear A Milli. They want to hear what hit them in their soul when they were that age.
Yeah.
Back in, when was that, Carter? It was like 2008. It's the same time as Bieber's breaking through. Lil Wayne is smashing through.
Well, people want to know what they first gravitated to.
Yeah.
And why
it's
gravitated
what
to
got
them.
you originally.
Yeah.
I can still listen to Meet the Beatles because I flash back on, I know this is way before your time, but now I'm going back to my childhood days, and listen, I can't express to you the impact of a British group coming over here and breaking all the rules and making a sound we'd never heard before.
Right, but that, it's now part of history. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
no,
like,
I got
you're
it,
old,
but-
so you like the Beatles. It is part of the world's history, and if people don't know what the Beatles are, they should check
Okay,
out
but
who
they
the
do
Beatles are.
because it gets passed down.
Well,
through the
yeah, go to
generations.
Target
I
and they're
talk to a lot
selling-
of kids today, and they go, "Yeah, my
but
mom
if you
introduced
go to
me to the
Target,
Beatles."
they're selling Rolling Stones and Beatles
They
T-shirts to
they
kids
are.
that are 12 years old
I
that
got
don't
it.
know even what it is.
Okay, but my point is, you know how much I love the Help album,
Yeah.
and it was from my 8th grade
Yes.
year, and I went to see on opening day the movie Help
Right.
downtown Oklahoma City. I went because we were weirdly offered the State Fair of Oklahoma, but I went. I didn't go to the
Right.
State Fair. I went to watch Help, and the Help album to me is like yes.
yeah, it's
Every
great.
song is not good. Every song is
Right.
great.
It's like
it just
Rubber
goes
Soul.
boom,
It's like
boom,
when you can
boom.
go down.
Yeah,
but
and I know every word to every song, and I could go listen to it right now, but it's going to transport me back to those days.
Right, but that's
So-
why the Eagles are playing
They
Vegas, the Sphere, and they have just played all their old songs.
That's all they play.
And that's
I
why
got it.
New Kids
It
on the
works.
Block are there now.
They are.
And they're playing all their old songs because
They
people
are.
want to hear the past. It's
No,
called
I got it.
reminiscing, and that's why people
Yeah.
are eating macaroni and cheese because
Yeah.
it makes them feel comfort food from
Okay.
long ago. It's the
All right,
same thing.
But the problem with the teen heartthrob, Justin Bieber, he once was quoted as saying that the biggest threat to his career is puberty because
Well, yeah,
his
because
voice
he was-
changed.
he
He
was-
became a man.
He was, yeah.
right?
Well, it's like the
Okay.
Brady Bunch episode
Yeah.
when Peter, his voice changes and they're singing. I know you don't know it,
Okay,
and he
but
starts singing
same-
"Time to Change," and his
Yeah.
voice cracks in the middle of the recording studio, and they
Exactly.
leave that in because it's kind of he's 13 and his voice is changing.
Okay, so the problem he faces is he sold his catalog, so he is not allowed to perform those songs publicly.
Right.
And he says, "Oh, well, what if I don't? But I just wait a second. I'll project my laptop up onto this giant screen, and I don't need any dancers
yeah.
or backup singers, or I don't need anything. I don't need any hoopla. We will spend next to nothing on the stage
Right.
because some of these acts,
Well, everybody has to have the smoke and mirrors
Yes.
because they're not all
the
as good as
smoke and
they
mirrors
are
is
in the
really
studio.
expensive. He spends nothing on smoke and mirrors, except projecting his little laptop, his little MacBook Pro or whatever it is, up on the screen. Kaboom! There it is. Oh, Baby. Let's play Baby. And Baby's a good song. I liked it when it came out. It was catchy. I'm not really into that genre,
It's fine.
but you can play it and blast it out to 100,000 people out there in the desert in Indio, California, where we've vacationed before, and it's going to click with them because that's how they found him.
Because they're watching him watch himself.
They are.
So
it's cool. I mean, I thought it was weirdly genius. I mean, did he scam everybody? Did he sort of slide through $10 million worth of performance?
They don't care as long as he's standing in front
worked.
of them.
They got to watch him.
To get to
watch
look at
them.
him. So
Watch him in 2008.
right. So I mean,
or
that's
whatever
all
it was.
really you have to worry about is that he's there in person and you get to see him.
Yeah, but as you know from dating a teen
Yes.
idol, it as you get up to,
Well, when
35,
you're older,
40,
people
now
don't
what?
want to.
Now what?
But he never had. He never. A lot of teen idols and people I knew and I was with, they grew up past it and they became real actors and real singers.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
the problem is, fans don't want to let you grow up. Fans want to keep
They
you.
don't.
They want to keep you 14 years old. They don't want to see you grow up. That's why when a lot of these, since I worked with the woman who was the editor of Tiger Beat, that's why back in the day
He
and
was
even
big.
now,
He was
everybody
big in
was
Tiger
big.
Beat.
Yeah. But what they don't do is they do not want to let any fan know that the guy that they're in love with is married. Because then it takes away the fantasy.
Understood.
So all those teens were always never married. But meanwhile they were married and they had kids and they were older than what kids thought they were.
That's true.
But it keeps the fantasy going. Maybe I can meet him and marry him.
Okay,
So
I got it. So if you really look hard at Bieber's early impact via YouTube, it was.
well, it was breakthrough because of YouTube.
But for a while, it was Taylor Swiftian. Like it was that kind of
Yeah.
impact internationally, right?
Because nobody had done that before. But if you had just taken him without the YouTube and put him with all those boy bands,
Yeah.
I don't think he had as much
gets lost.
talent
No,
as
I
those
understand.
boy bands. Nick Lachey, all those guys.
I don't know.
Boys to Men were really
I thought he
talented.
had a nice voice.
But
I
his
do.
voice did not stand out different than any of those other guys. Those guys had better voices than him. Even if you 98 Degrees, all those bands.
He could sing.
He
his
didn't have
little
anything
love
that was
ballads.
special. It was just the special was the YouTube. That was when people started to realize you can now
I
become a star through YouTube.
And
So,
it's
he
weird.
broke
The
through.
kid Leroy is he's weirdly very Bieber-like. Like
Yeah, but
his
he
whole
never made it as big as
upbringing.
Bieber.
He hasn't.
And we're still waiting for him to break through.
I
But
guess
I
so.
think the breakthrough time is over.
Back to your questions. This is an email question from Mickey from Fort Worth, Texas, back in my old stomping grounds, Dallas, Fort Worth. Savannah Guthrie expressed her disappointment in God given all that has happened to her and her family. Are you okay that she shared this publicly, or feel when it comes to one's faith, those comments should have been kept private?
Well, I think she is an exception to the rule because her life became so exposed
Yeah.
and stripped down to the bare, essence of her soul because of what has happened and still is happening with her mother, which is where is she? And I can totally understand what she's saying because I don't know, I'm not as religious as you are. I wasn't raised by going to Catholic school and I didn't have any of that. I had the temple and church for me, and I believe in a higher power and I pray and I do my own thing. I don't have to go to church, but I can do my own thing. But when my mother was sick in the hospital and I was praying to God, and then when my mother didn't make it, I was really
understand.
mad. Like,
She
how
was.
could
She
he
was
do
mad
that
at
to
God.
me? I
Yeah,
mean,
she
but
was.
it's natural. I think a lot of people say,
I got it.
hey, how could you do this to me? How could you make these bad things happen? So I prayed so much and you didn't help me. So how could she's very faith-based, has written
is.
books, and she is extremely vocal about being faith-based, her family. How could she not feel disappointed that this was the most senseless, horrible thing that could happen? And you have to say, why would you do this to me and my mother? It hurt my mother when she didn't do anything to anybody. Because I was famous?
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's just...
I give her a big pass on this one. I don't love what she said, but if you want to be explicit about this, as Jesus was dying on the cross, not to get too religious, but he's dying on the cross and says, why hast thou forsaken me? Screaming at God, like, why are you doing this to me? Well, it was obvious why this was happening, but the point is, even Jesus on the cross is saying the same thing, basically, that you said, and Savannah is now thinking out loud. I do wish she'd kept it to herself. I do believe in what the Bible says about don't make your brother stumble. So you're sending, she's a big believer, not a believer, a believer.
Yeah, she is very
and she is
strong.
Legit, strong, Christian, God-loving, God-fearing
And so is
woman.
her mother.
And
I mean, that was the night that she was taken. She was never showed up at her friend's Zoom church.
yeah, but
session.
for Savannah to admit the weakness of questioning God, some people are going to say,
normal.
oh my God, maybe I should question God. And so you're making your brother or sisters stumble. And I don't love that, but I give her a pass because she didn't just lose her mother. She lost her inexplicably, where it remains unclosed, like there's
So
no closure
horrible.
to it that I know of, unless she knows something we don't know.
It's just so horrible.
I mean, we've talked about this. You have to assume the worst now.
Well, I read that now they have a catchphrase on the Today Show that if they see breaking news with news about her mom, they have to say, you're needed like in the control room or whatever, because they just can't have her there.
Excuse her.
Yeah. It's just a horrible, horrible thing. For her mother, too. This woman didn't ask for that.
Okay, but allow me to say, as a believer, that I've said this before, I'll say it again. Every time I went through something like that, how could this be happening? Then time passed, and I looked back and I said, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but this is your mother
Okay,
being
I
murdered.
understand.
I don't think you
I
can.
understand.
You can say, "Oh, now I see why she was murdered." God help her and her mother, and her family.
It's hard to even justify me saying this, but there's always a bigger picture, a mysterious way, where you say, "Oh, that happened so that could." I know, but
Not in this
that's
one.
what I believe. Okay. This is Brianna from Jacksonville, as in Florida, not Texas. SNL, as in Saturday Night Live, just announced its hosts and musical guests for the rest of the season.
Good.
The lineup for me is all-time epic,
I think
says
so,
Brianna.
too.
For you both, what would be your ideal SNL host/musical guest lineup?
Well, they have Paul McCartney with the last episode, last episode with Will Ferrell, which is great.
I mean, that's pretty
all-time.
all-time for me on both sides.
Yeah, Matt Damon hosting, Olivia Rodrigo hosting, and the music guest.
Yeah.
Those are pretty
Matt
good.
Damon's with Noah Kahn, whose work we're not that familiar with, but
Matt Damon, that's all you have to say to me, and I'm watching. Even as bad as SNL is these days with writers and skits are not funny, but I still will watch those 3 shows.
okay.
And if
I like Olivia Rodrigo
me
a lot.
too. I think she's
and
talented.
I think she's very
and
talented, both
singing and
singing
acting.
and acting. So she has the star power to carry the night, and she's going to have to carry the whole night.
Without a doubt. For me, musical guest, but this is going back in time that we can't bring them back to their voice.
No,
Steve Perry,
she loves Steve Perry.
music guest. Sinatra, that would have been amazing, but that was before.
By the way, her sister works for an eye doctor here in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, and Steve Perry is a patient of the eye doctor's and occasionally comes through, and so Joyce will tell Ernestine,
I've seen him there.
Steve Perry's here. Oh, you actually saw him?
Yes, I actually saw him. But
Okay.
he doesn't look exactly like
No,
the
he
way he
doesn't.
did, but I don't care. He still can sing a phone book. And if it was back in the day, I think what would have been a really cool host and performer would have been Barbra Streisand.
Okay. Going way back in the
Because
day.
she can
No, she
act
could do
and
both.
sing
No, she was
and direct.
wildly
and,
talented both ways.
Yeah, so that would be mine.
Okay, I like that. Listen, Will Ferrell to me.
Well, wait a minute, but Barbra Streisand, this is going back to the 70s, this show.
Okay.
Barbra Streisand
she
around,
was.
so
No,
I mean,
around.
she
No,
was
she could
very
have done
young.
it. Yeah.
I don't know, they never had her. I don't think she was ever a music guest.
Maybe she didn't want to be.
Maybe. She's very shy, so maybe she didn't want to do it.
Maybe
live.
at that point she thought she was above that.
Could have been. But she would be incredible to see.
No, I would.
And Liza
agree.
Minnelli.
Yeah, but if you give me Will Ferrell with Paul McCartney, it's just hard for me to believe that after all these years, Paul McCartney is still going.
Oh, he's
and
incredible.
still going at a pretty high
Incredible.
level.
I mean, he just finished a tour.
Yeah, where he can still.
He
I
can
mean, his voice isn't
no, but
quite what it was, but he can still
he
do
can
it.
still play for two and a half hours.
And you hear it, and you say, "Oh, that's pretty great."
And he does
But
all his old songs, and he
but
does a
he's-
few new ones. But
he is truly like the most living legend
he is
going
him and
right
Ringo.
now. Yeah, but especially Paul
Paul,
McCartney.
yeah,
Whew.
he has transcended era upon era.
Okay, it is time now. Speaking of, for Skip and Ernestine go to the movies on the couch. You are hooked on a series called Imperfect Women,
Yeah, I really like that.
and I think when does the next one drop? I don't know, but anyway, are we about?
I think it's Wednesday.
about-
Wednesday, and then Friday is Friends and Neighbors.
For however many episodes there've been, we're up to date,
Yeah.
up to speed. And I will admit, this past week's episode got
Took a
better.
twist. Yeah, that was good.
And the cliffhanger at the end of the episode was really good.
Yeah, it was good. It's a
And
soap opera,
It's
but
just
it's
soap
good.
opera. It's good. It's not
It's not like
great.
Oscar winning,
No,
but
it's
it's
not
really
Oscar-winning.
keeps you. It's probably better than a lot of Oscar movies.
But you have three, as you find out, extremely flawed women
But
who are
superstars:
best friends.
Kerry Washington,
Oh, I mean, played
Kate
by
Mara,
superstars. Yeah.
and Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah. And so they are interacting, and their flaws begin to affect each other and connect in bizarre ways. And so it's an interesting character study of three women who in the first episode you think are pretty perfect, and then they're not.
Yeah,
And they're all in their own ways very successful, even at
but they
this-
all have
yeah.
hidden secrents.
Yeah. Somebody just
Somebody
jumped
just
off the
went
couch.
down, and she's going to be probably doing something.
She'll
Go
be
in your
making
bed,
noise.
Hazel.
Hazel, go in your bed. Go in your bed. No, there's
Go
no
in your
barking.
bed, Hazel.
There's no barking.
She's okay for now.
Okay. But I'm hooked.
It's good.
Yeah, it is very good. And now we're however many episodes into Your Friends and Neighbors. And
is really
we're in season
good.
2 with your guy
It's
James
good.
Marsden as the new
Yeah,
sort of
he's
co-star.
great.
And
And
he's-
John Hamm is
and of
great.
course John Hamm.
He makes
And
it.
James Marsden is really talented,
He's so
and they have
good.
written a character for him who's not unlike the
President
character he
in
played, the
Paradise,
president, the same sort of
Suave,
swagger
yeah.
and the patter
Cool.
and the quick wit and the back and forth and the cutesy exchanges.
Yeah.
And it's so cutesy that nobody would really be this way, but
But
he
it
pulls
works
it
for
off.
him.
It works for him. And we've mentioned this before, but now it gets worse and worse. The whole concept is truly preposterous.
No,
it
this is
can't,
like you gotta
it wouldn't happen.
suspend.
You have to give it completely up,
Definitely.
and I have. And I'm the worst at saying, "Oh, come on, let's
Yeah, but
get
this you
back
have
to
to
reality."
just give it up.
But they are so good at these characters that now I'm rooting for the script.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm rooting for the story because I like the story,
It's
even though
great.
I know it
Couldn't-
couldn't happen
No,
in a
it's
billion
ridiculous,
years.
but-
It wouldn't happen.
But it also
He's
makes
not
it
gonna
so
be a thief in
interesting.
his own neighborhood, which is
But
the
he's so
premise.
good.
Yeah, and
Olivia Munn.
They're-
It's
they're
just
all
the
good.
cast is
And
great.
Olivia Munn is really sexy.
Yeah,
in this
she's
to me.
very sexy.
She is hot, and she plays hot.
Yeah.
And yet
She's
Amanda,
really good.
Is it Amanda
Amanda
Peet?
Peet, I like her too.
I don't like her. She is not. She's not sexy to me, but that's just
well,
me.
it's you,
Beauty
but I
in the
think
eye of
she's
the beholder.
beautiful.
But her character is annoying to me. But maybe she's supposed to be
I
annoying.
think she's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah.
But that's why the whole show works.
And
the whole cast is great.
then Hoon Lee is
he's
the
great.
financial advisor.
And he's his best friend. He's
Barney,
great.
and,
yeah.
and he's really good. Now he's getting sucked into this plot.
So good.
And it's just the writing in this series is the best writing on television right now.
And the way John
consistently.
Hamm narrates it,
Yeah, he is.
he's so good. You have to watch it.
It's like these parts are made for these guys because they're great rich assholes, but lovable assholes,
Yeah.
and they're just
And you feel
spoiled
sorry for
rich.
him. Yeah, you feel bad for him.
And you're like, huh? But
Yeah.
but it works, and we are hooked, and we highly recommend.
So good.
I recommend Your Friends and Neighbors even over Imperfect Women.
Yeah.
Some people would scoff at Imperfect Women after like,
maybe
okay,
some girls
soap
like
opera me to death.
It's
right?
good.
And then Saturday night, we noticed that the new Elvis doc had dropped, and it's called Epic, as in Elvis Presley.
Well,
in
I noticed
concert.
only because my client, Ann Moses,
Oh, I forgot about
who is
that.
the editor of Tiger Beat magazine, which
Yes.
everybody knows Tiger Beat is part of pop culture
Yeah.
from 65 to 72, she actually covered Elvis. She was one of the few media chosen to interview Elvis for a documentary that was never really made it, which
Yeah.
is what is mostly shown in this
Okay.
documentary that Baz Luhrmann did,
Who
who is
did
the great Moulin Rouge and everything
But he
else.
did the movie, didn't he?
Yeah.
The Elvis movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So she is actually in it. There's clips of Anne because she was in
There
the
is.
front row and
Yeah.
Elvis actually kissed her, but she also covered Elvis. So she
Yeah.
told me, hey, I'm in this doc, and I said, we have to see it, but I thought it was only in the theater, and then they released it
On Netflix.
on Netflix. It blows you away.
So, allow me to say,
Elvis is king.
for those of you younger generations who might scoff at this, there's never been an entertainer who generated the impact that Elvis Presley did through most of his life until he finally crashed. And he crashed
That's why when you
hard.
go to Vegas, there's a
Yes.
million Elvis impersonators.
He was
It's legendary.
the single most powerful live performer in the history of entertainment. And I don't think I'm exaggerating that. Could he dance like James Brown or Michael Jackson? No, he didn't have that kind of sort of athletic ability, but
He could move.
he could move, and the energy he generated for 2 hours of performance, sometimes 3 times a day, at least twice a day, but sometimes 3 times a day. They had a stat at the end of the documentary to frame why he crashed, that over a 12-year period in Las Vegas, he did around 11,000 shows. And if you do the math on it, it's just impossible. No
and sometimes
human,
3 times a day. Which
3 times a day. And these are long shows in which he is drenched in sweat halfway through.
and the
gives
sexiness that he...
the gyrations,
sexiness,
the
just
pelvic
his,
thrusts.
But just his eyes.
Just,
He was one of the most sexiest men ever in the world.
he was. Even
And-
I would
And I have
say
seen
that.
so many athletes that sweat. I've never seen somebody sweat as much as Elvis. But he also is, and I've been to Graceland where he
Yeah.
lived and saw the costumes.
Yeah.
Those costumes were so heavy, and he's under major lights, and he's shaking and he's everything. How could you not sweat?
And he was very extemporaneous, and he really cared about giving the audience every single performance, every single minute, every ounce of his being. So he's trying to literally give himself as hard as he can give to the
women
audience
are just
through motion and through voice.
a look of his eyes. He just
And he cared. He was, talk about a heartthrob. he was way beyond teen idol. This is just
But he's
heartthrob.
going back to hound dog days.
Yeah.
I mean, he started out, it's almost rockabilly and country.
He did.
He's legendary.
And the amazing thing about the Life and Times, and this is that, what's 70,
This was 72, I think.
whatever, through the 80s.
This was 70 that
Okay.
they did this.
All right. But during his live performances, he is taking quick breaks to swoop down off the stage and hug a woman who is out of her mind, like hyperventilating over Elvis, and pull her up and kiss her on the lips, hard, on the lips, boom, like a passionate kiss. And he's doing it multiple times.
Incredible.
Glad there was no COVID.
No, but he just...
Like, glad he wasn't germaphobic.
But he gave them what they wanted.
But that's what they
He made them feel
wanted.
special.
So he's just constantly, and it shows him walking through crowds, and he's just stopping and just kissing women flush on the lips.
Which,
Kaboom.
after him, I mean, Wayne Newton did it and Tom Jones did it, but he broke the mold.
God, did he?
You
break
have
the
to
mold?
watch this
And
documentary.
women would literally swoon in the audience over Elvis, and I got it because he was a good-looking
Sexiest guy ever.
Yeah.
And the nicest guy. Just
Yeah,
very
and
sweet and
he
down
was
to
very
earth.
sweet, and he really cared. It shows a lot of rehearsal. We highly recommend
Yeah,
this.
the
If you
rehearsal
don't
is
know
the
anything
best.
about him, you should watch this.
Well, because there's been so many movies made.
Yeah.
The guy that played in, what's his name? Who I can't think of his name. The guy who played in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He played him, remember, in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
He did. Yeah.
Tom Hanks played Colonel Parker.
Parker, yes.
I mean, there's been a
He
billion
wasn't really
movies.
Colonel Parker. He was.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been a billion
Holland.
movies.
Yeah, right.
I have to see where she is, because I have to run to see her.
Oh, you
Excuse
think
me.
she has to
I think she may have to go to the bathroom,
alone again?
but she...
Alone again, naturally. So,
Where are you?
from my heart, watch Elvis as in EPIC, Epic Elvis Presley in concert, because you can see why he died. You can see what happened, because if you read about his later life, he's performing until he runs completely out of gas, and he starts to resort to drugs for two reasons. He's got to take amphetamines to keep his energy up for 3 shows a day, and then he said it would take 4 to 5 hours a night to unwind from the shows, and it would require more drugs to try to go to sleep for a little while.
He was just...
And this vicious cycle of that, the deadly cycle of that, got worse and worse. And then we can't figure out how this happened, because he said he would lose 4 to 5 pounds of performance. Well, if you do 3 a day, you're going to lose 15 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
That's a lot.
And yet,
Then he just got so depressed, and
by
then
the
he would
end,
start eating. And...
he just ate his way into oblivion, because he got huge.
But also, he was bloated from all of the pills that he
it
was
was
taking.
terrible.
And
Yeah.
depression. And by that time, his music wasn't as... It was fading out a little bit.
And he started to do covers of
and-
Beatles songs,
yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel songs.
Because
As
he-
they got popular, he felt like, well, I guess I have to incorporate
Yeah.
them into my act to stay current, right?
He was just
But
legendary.
you can see him burn himself into shreds. You can just watch it live. And then the interviews, and I don't know
Anne?
if Ann is asking these questions, but
Anne was
somebody's...
at the behind the scenes, the media, that they would do one-on-one, press room, little junkets.
Yeah.
And she was also allowed, which they never allowed media to take pictures. She was allowed by the director who was doing this documentary that Baz now is showing.
Yeah.
Colonel Parker let Anne, the only media, to go upstairs in the balcony and shoot with a camera, and those photos she put into Tiger Beat,
Oh, okay. Wow.
which nobody else has.
And Elvis kissed her.
And Elvis kissed her. And she was out of her mind.
Yeah. By the way, companion question here is from Omar from LA. He says the ketamine queen, quote unquote, the one who gave Matthew Perry the drugs that led to his overdose, was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Would like to know your thoughts on that punishment. Do you feel the sentence is just too harsh, or did she deserve more? Well, it reminded me of this Elvis because you read about Elvis after we watched the documentary, and so Colonel Parker tried to just keep him away from all drugs, and yet he would just find another doctor and another doctor who would prescribe, because if you pay enough for their services, they're just going to prescribe. And yet they're prescribing potentially lethal drugs.
Right.
And so the ketamine queen, you know, when I first read this question, my first thought was, well, that's pretty harsh, 15 years. And she didn't actually kill him, but at some point, she's a drug dealer. I mean...
Well, yeah, she's a drug dealer, but it's the same thing. Listen, it's like when they say, you know, guns don't kill, it's the people behind the gun, right? So you have to blame... Matthew Perry has to take some accountability for this because he's the one who's doing the drugs, okay?
Yeah.
I feel terrible, and I was a fan of his, and I did not want him to die, but he's taking the drugs, he's getting the drugs from people. They're mean people and terrible people. They're giving it to him, but he's paying them, so they're going to do anything for money. Then you have his assistant. They haven't sentenced the assistant yet. The assistant is going to get sentenced and I'm sure be put away. Now you would know, not that I was in the room with them, but I'm sure his assistant could not say to him, I'm not going to get you your drugs. He'd say, you're fired. So the assistant has to do what the boss is telling. It's the same thing with Michael Jackson. It's the same thing with go to all these major stars that have OD'd and they're getting the drugs because the doctors are afraid to say no and they get paid millions and millions of dollars. Can you do? So she deserves the accountability to be in prison. Yeah. If he was here, Matthew Perry, and he went into rehab a bunch of times, he's the one that wants to do it. So you can stop somebody from wanting to kill themselves and they're jumping off the roof and you save them, and then they go and they slit their wrists. So they're going to find one way or the other unless they really want to stop, right?
I do like sending the message to drug dealers, which can include doctors.
Yeah.
They're just drug dealers, right?
Especially...
But I like sending the message that, hey, you can go to jail for this.
Yeah.
If somebody dies at your hands because of what you're actually writing out or giving to them, then you're liable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're liable.
And yet, then I think about the other side of this, like, grocery stores can kill people too, because you can go buy the wrong foods, and if you eat enough of the wrong foods, you're going to die.
Right. Well, outside of Gelson's, which is the chain of grocery stores here, when you go there, it's kind of scary. They have plaques outside in the garage that say, knowing that you're going in this garage, you're smelling the smoke that from the exhaust, you could die. And then they would have plaques in the store by the bread. This causes cancer. This causes cancer.
That's
so it's like,
oh, they got to protect themselves.
yeah. But
it has come to this.
You know, I saw Matthew Perry's stepdad, who's the journalist, said we also, as the family, we feel bad for the doctor's family because now their family is suffering because of her doing that. Oh, yeah. So everybody is being put in a bad position, and nobody wins. And Britney Spears is also back in rehab. You know, I saw she did a dance before she was going back to rehab. Yeah. But she's been in a bad way for a long time. She's just another classic case
of a teen idol who just couldn't handle it.
And her parents were, the father was terrible, the mother.
But she just keeps needing to anesthetize herself against the realities of her life. And I have no idea about rehab. We talked about this last week with Tiger Woods. I don't know if it's just a PR.
I think a lot of it is PR
spin.
It is,
you know, like, oh, let's just say she went to rehab. Let's say Tiger went to rehab, and it's okay now because she addressed her problem. And she's okay.
It's like that actress, that Amanda Burns, who was the
I remember her well. Yep.
She went off the deep end.
Yep. It happens.
You know.
It happens.
And a lot of the time, the parents are parents to blame because the parents need the kids to keep working.
All right, back to the unreal world of a series that we loved, Young Sherlock.
Oh, so good.
Nominated as a comedy,
which I don't
for
get.
an Emmy comedy.
Dramedy, maybe.
There's no dramedy category,
Right, but
which is
that
highly
could-
controversial. Yeah.
Dramedy, I say yes. Comedy, I say no. It wasn't a comedy at all. It had a little tongue-in-cheek kind of...
The irony of this is that in the beginning, I didn't want to watch it because I saw some of the
The
trailers.
reviews were terrible
and
on
the
it.
reviews were terrible, but the little bits and pieces that
They
I
looked
saw in the
hokey.
previews, it looked silly,
Yeah,
hokey,
yeah.
and I don't like goofy.
No, he doesn't like that. I would watch it.
I
but-
need it to have a real edge to
Yeah,
it,
like
and this
substance.
does.
Oh, it's so good.
This has a real edge to it.
It is so good,
Yeah, and
but it's not a comedy.
there's no laugh out loud
No.
in it. There's no chuckles in it. To me,
Well, I mean, there's some
So-
kind of
sometimes
like
it's a little
tongue-in-cheekish
goofy, but-
kind of like,
yeah.
but definitely not where you're like laughing. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, but
Here's the one
I
coming.
didn't know if it was. Well, guess who's back?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look who's here.
Little
She's
spoiled
back.
brat,
She's
diva.
back.
Hi.
Hello. Oh,
Yeah, I
she's
still love you.
stretching across the...
Okay, thank
Okay, here's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Doing
Thank
a little show here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
But-
very good. Sit down.
But I wondered if they had to position this as a comedy so
get
it
it
could
nominated,
win.
yeah.
No, because the lowdown, which we have not sampled yet,
No, we haven't seen that.
with Ethan Hawke.
Oh, I don't know.
Ponies, Spider Noir, Elsbeth, which we know of. We
Yeah.
used to see the woman in New York who plays Elsbeth.
Yes.
Lived in our neighborhood. And
Yes.
then Wednesday, which I've watched and you have not
No.
watched, but those are in the comedy category. And I don't think Wednesday's a comedy. I know
Oh, I think it's a similar
it's
dramedy.
ironic. Yeah,
It's
it's
the same.
but it's got great action in
Yeah.
it. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of good actors in that.
All right, this is James from Buffalo, who says the actress, Natasha Lyonne, is that how you pronounce it? I
Yes.
think that's right.
Uh-huh.
Natasha Lyonne.
There's another problem here.
Okay, so she was escorted off a plane for her behavior, or lack thereof. Can you explain to me how and why people still act like, to quote this, James, shitheads on a flight? Same like every other day, you see a new video of someone acting like a complete idiot on a plane. Okay, so
She was
Natasha,
just at the awards
She
dinner the night
was.
before and then took the red-eye Delta flight from LA to New York. She got on the plane. She was totally spaced out.
she's out of
Flight attendants went over to her, told her to put her laptop away. She refused. They say,
it.
listen,
I think she was comatose. I think she didn't refuse.
Right.
I think she was just.
she said, where are we?
yeah,
where are we?
She didn't know
Then
where
she went to the bathroom, and then they thought she was going to lock herself in, but she came out eating a bag of pretzels. And then they said, we cannot take off unless you can put away your stuff. And then the pilot just said, okay, folks, we're not taking off yet. We need to get her off the plane. Now she says that she had taken a sleeping pill relaxer to get a good night's sleep because the next day she was doing Drew Barrymore's show, which she never made it to. But just about, maybe it was 6 months ago, she came out and said that she had fallen off the wagon
Yeah.
and that she was back to doing drugs, but now she was getting better. I don't know.
We tried Poker Face for a
I
while.
was not a fan.
No, we didn't make it all the way through.
She's been in a million things. Orange is the New Black. She was a kid actress on the Pee Wee Herman
She
show,
was.
but she has a problem. It's another
just
problem.
another Hollywood casualty in that she's got some problems.
And she's
And
got
she-
such talent.
She
That's what's the thing.
over-celebrated and she's
Another problem.
out of it. And you would think that she would have enough money or enough people behind her with money that they would just fly her private, because if you fly private, it just doesn't matter how you act. You don't have to put your seatbelt on. You can walk around when
Yeah,
they
but
take
I
off.
don't think that even if she did, she still has this problem. It's not about just getting on the
well,
plane.
yeah.
She just has a
now
problem.
her problem became, I don't know how many people are on the flight, 200 people
yeah,
or whatever
they have
it
to
is.
wait to try
Now,
to-
your
yeah.
problem becomes all their problems.
Yeah.
And you screw up their days.
Yeah, on a
and
red eye,
screw
you're
up
trying to
their
get in by
lives.
6 a.m. and
Yeah.
now you're not getting in, and it's just kind of ridiculous.
Mm.
But she needs to address it once again.
God. This is L from Birmingham, as in Alabama. George Clooney spoke out accusing what President Trump is doing should be viewed as a war crime. Yes, I understand we live in a world of free speech, but shouldn't we be drawing a line at some point? Like, in what world should an actor be accusing our president as a war criminal? Would like to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, I
Okay.
personally think actors should just
Thank
be
you.
actors. And if
Agreed.
you watch the Elvis documentary, this was even
He
back in
did say
1970,
this.
they asked him in a press conference, what is your view on the war, on the political, what's going on at the point with Vietnam?
Yes.
And he said, I'm an entertainer, and I don't really...
I'm going to keep my
have-
opinions
yeah,
to myself
right.
because they don't matter.
Right. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Josh Duhamel said that last week. We didn't
I
get
love
to it on the
Josh
show.
Duhamel.
But he just said, why would I take stands politically when,
He's an actor.
as an entertainer, I'm going to alienate half of my
Right,
constituency, right? My fans, half of them are going to be mad at me and half of them are going to love me even more, but they already love me. And he's right. And I get so offended that the George Clooney's of the world think that because they can act and because they are worshipped
Yeah,
the way
Yeah.
very few humans are worshipped.
that's true. That is true.
Like you're larger than life because you're on
Well, it's like a
larger
Taylor
than life
Swift thing.
silver screen.
Yeah.
And because of that, you think that your opinions on
Across the board.
world
Yeah.
issues really matter to people, and that you need to save the world by speaking out against the president of the United States because you hate him and you didn't vote for him. And same with in my realm with the coaches,
Right.
especially the basketball coaches. Coach Popovich in San Antonio just lost me with his bully pulpit speeches where he would just take over an interview that's supposed to be about the San Antonio Spurs I used to love, and all I cared about was the Spurs.
Right.
I don't care what his opinion is of politics.
Yeah.
I don't care. You are abusing your entertainment platform by forcing your opinions down our throat because we're a captive audience trying to hear about the Spurs, and you're telling us about Trump.
Right.
And Steve Kerr is just as bad, and he seems like
Oh,
a
is he?
nicer guy,
Really?
but he speaks out
Oh, he does? Okay.
like crazy, and he doesn't use it as a bully pulpit. He just uses the platform to speak out. And again, they both have backgrounds. Pop was in the military and in I think he was like in CIA for a
Oh,
while,
really? I didn't know that.
internationally.
Okay.
And Steve Kerr's father got murdered in Beirut,
Oh, yeah, okay.
where he was a professor. And so Steve feels very strongly about a lot of these issues, but keep that to yourself. I don't care. You can't, just because you're a famous basketball coach doesn't give you the right to abuse your platform and force political opinions down my throat.
But it's just
whether
like when
I
the
agree or
Oscars or
Yeah.
the
Oh, that's
Grammys
the
or
same
whatever,
thing.
when they get up there to
Same
thank
idea.
you for the award, and
Yeah,
by the
give me a
way,
break.
you know,
Yeah.
now we have to go into that whole speech of whatever the political thing that they're saying.
Yeah.
Just stick to thanking people for the Oscars.
Okay, so not to get too political and technical with this, because I probably don't know enough to be speaking myself, but just in sort of reaction to all this, okay, so I do, we talked about this earlier, but I do believe in preserving and protecting Israel. I just believe in it. It's in the Bible, and I think if we don't, we will fall as a nation
Right.
and an empire.
Okay.
And, okay, so at the heart of this, Trump is saying, oh, here's a nation that has vowed to obliterate Israel, and I'm not going to let this happen. They're close to having nuclear weapons, and they're crazy enough, they'll use
Right.
them first on Israel,
Right.
and let alone trying to come after
Right.
us. And I'm going to stop it. And I'm pretty sure he's at least set it back, and obviously they'll regroup and start over with the
Right.
new regime and all that, but you've set it way back.
Right.
And he's done it so far. You could, if you really wanted to, so to speak, go for the throat, you could drop a nuclear bomb on Iran, right? You could
Right.
drop several nuclear. You have the capability of eliminating them from existence if you so chose. Well, war crimes, I don't know. War is crime, right? Isn't that the definition of war?
There's so many
You know?
layers of this. It's just,
Okay.
I I'm not a political person, so
Okay.
I have my beliefs, but whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll table them.
Okay. This is, Calvin from Pasadena. Pasadena is,
Oh, yeah,
that's where Imperfect Women
yeah.
takes
It's a Rose
place.
Bowl, too.
Good, you're learning.
I know
You
that.
become a Californian,
Not
an
quite.
Angelina.
Not quite. Angelino.
Yeah. The LA Times had a report that the Los Angeles, I think it's United School District,
Yep.
is likely to strike, which of course would have such a crippling effect on so many people. When it comes to financial support, why do you feel teachers are always so ignored? Well, this is like the most cliche question in the history of questions, because I've been dealing with this my whole life. Why are teachers underpaid to the point that it kind of goes in one ear and out the other? I don't know why, but it's a great question.
Oh, your sister was a teacher.
She was a teacher, and I had 2 teachers who literally made it possible for me to be sitting right here with you and Hazel in Los Angeles.
No,
Like,
I
if
know.
without them, I don't know what happens to me. I don't know.
They just want to bring it up to, I saw this morning, because they're still waiting. They need to make $77,000 a year to
make
survive.
it, to survive.
Yeah, and
Yes.
they go, and a lot of them have to pay for their own school supplies for the kids. They don't
do.
even pay for all the supplies. It's just horrible.
It's so wrong-headed, and because they should actually be highly paid.
They need to pay. They're teaching
I don't
children
know.
for the future,
Yeah.
and they're the lowest paid thought about when it comes to raises or
Yeah.
anything else. I don't get it. I
don't get
know.
it either, but it's like the age-old cliche, those who can't do teach, and so they're relegated to, oh, you couldn't really do anything, so you try to teach.
Right, but that's not true.
But the impact they can have, my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Lowther, had on my life. My sophomore English teacher, who became my journalism teacher, Mrs. Burdett, she changed my life. And they couldn't have made any money.
No, they were making no money.
No
back
money.
then.
No money.
But there are so many great, successful people that owe it to
Owe
their
it.
teachers.
Yeah. I give money to my school, Vanderbilt, but it doesn't seem to count. That's not what we're talking about
No,
here.
we're talking about low,
Yeah.
middle school,
Maybe I
elementary
should
school,
give
high
money
school.
to LAUSD
Hopefully
somehow.
they don't strike and they come to an agreement. Hopefully they were very close as of this morning. But
Yeah.
they and nurses. Nurses are always the other people that have a problem.
Final question is from Pop from Bloomington, Indiana. It's not that Pop.
No, not,
Skip, with it being Masters Week, which it was last
Yep.
week, I watched it
I know you did.
all day on
I
Saturday
didn't
and
see
Sunday.
you or Hazel.
Or Hazel.
Yes, she watched it too.
It got me thinking, says Pop, if you needed to pick just one and only one sport to watch, which one would you pick? And no cop-outs here. Okay, the reason I laugh
know
at
the
these
answer to
questions,
that.
Pop, is that it's completely hypothetical. I don't have to pick one, right?
It's golf.
No, it's not golf.
Oh, I thought the Masters is the best day of the year
No,
for
it
you.
is. But my point is, I don't have to choose one.
Well, what if you had to?
I know, but I don't have to. So why would I
But
even
why-
let my mind
But why can't
wrap
you play
around
that game? If you had to choose football or basketball,
I don't have to.
you would choose football over basketball. That's what I
I
think.
love basketball.
But you
I was just telling,
love football.
I do a show called Arena Gridiron, which is an NFL show, and then I do the companion show on the network, which is Gil's Arena, which is an NBA show.
Right.
And I was just telling my guy, Aqib Talib, my sort of debate partner on the NFL show, that weirdly, I have slightly more passion for the NBA. And
Wow.
I don't know why, but I just do. It's just more debatable to me. And yet, I love the NFL.
I don't think
I'm,
that, I think
I'm
that's
seen
maybe
as
because
an
it's
NFL
not September.
guy.
But once September comes along,
Yeah.
I think then you become obsessed and
Okay.
addicted with football.
Okay, the best day of the year for me is Masters Sunday.
I remember.
Because there's no greater pressure in all sports than the solo pressure of being a golfer on that golf course,
Yeah.
which is the greatest risk-reward test in sports where you can go for it, go for broke, and wind up broke, so to speak.
Right.
And I know every step of the golf course because it's the only one of the 4 majors that's always played on the same golf course. So I've played it, I've walked it hundreds of times. And I know like literally every step, every shot on the golf course, so I can really relate to what's happening. And the pressure's suffocating and stifling on the back 9 after amen corner. And so football fans and basketball fans laugh at me. That's the best day in sports. Well, it's just the greatest pressure test. Unfortunately, this time,
Do you think he's going to win again?
the bottom
at third?
fell out. Rory?
Yeah, he made history by winning. He's the only guy that won two years in a row.
No, he's not the only one. There have been
I saw that on the
4.
news.
There have been 4. Tiger won 2 in a row. Jack won 2 in a row.
Oh, then he was the only guy that won something. I saw it Chiron this morning.
Okay, but he's not the only one. He just won back-to-back and joined 3 others, so there are only 4 all time.
Maybe it was back-to-back. I don't know.
Okay, but I don't like Rory. I just don't like. I think he's a nice guy. It's sort of out of the LeBron mold of too nice of a guy, and he's so talented that his talent keeps overcoming his intangibles or lack of, because he's a choke artist. I know you don't care about golf, but we got.
I've watched enough of it.
I know, but we got to the 18th hole in the Masters, and he's fortunately got a 2-shot lead because he hits his tee shot so far right it goes over the trees, and to where he had actually
I wasn't
a weird
there.
shot.
I had to help him find his ball.
You would have to help. Listen, if obviously the world is watching, so he's not going to lose his golf ball because everybody's watching.
Find his ball.
But if we're playing by ourselves and you're riding with me, I don't know that we'd find it.
We'd have to just move on.
And you get like 5 minutes
Except
to
your
look.
friend
My
Craig
friend
would not
Craig
move
would
on.
say, "Okay, we're going to find this ball
Craig
because
would-
it's right here. It's somewhere
Craig would
right
make
here."
us find the ball after
and
3
you know what?
hours.
He would find it.
Yeah, I know.
He would find the golf ball. And it's like, it's not that he can't afford a golf ball. It's just the principle of the thing. It's right here somewhere.
No, I know.
Yes, it is. Well, Rory was way over there, and he's weirdly got a shot where he can kind of hook it way around the trees and get it in the front sand bunker. This is the bunker. And he won by 1 shot. And it was anticlimactic, and it was a letdown, and I don't know, I don't love him, but it kind of took the fun. We watched all day long.
You and
Hazel
Hazel.
and I. We watched for 5 straight hours, and that happened, and we get left with that. I like Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
I like what he's made of. And he had a putt. You know how putts go on the 17th green that is downhill. It's a classic putt. And it just doesn't break to the right. And he missed it by 1/4 of an inch. And if it falls, then he's coming on a little too late. But he's going to cut the lead to 1. So if Rory has only a 1-shot lead and screws up his tee shot that badly on the last hole, he was playing behind Scotty, well then he might just fall apart and we might have a different story.
That happens to me all the time when I'm playing miniature golf.
What?
Same thing.
She can putt.
I can putt.
But she can
I don't play golf.
She can mainly throw.
I can mainly drive the golf cart.
There's a video out there that I recommend.
Yeah, right next to Elvis.
Well, but there's a video of her throwing. We're playing catch, which we sometimes do.
My sister took the video.
Yeah, she did. You can look it up because I looked it up the other day because I just think, God, that's
There's
really
that video
good.
of us playing.
But she's like a dart thrower with a round ball. She can. Look at little Hazel.
Hazel says she is. She can play ball okay like me.
She can really throw.
Me and
she never
Hazel.
played anything, but she
I've
can
never
throw
played. I was
deadly
horrible in
accurately,
school.
and it looks.
I played clarinet,
It
never
looks
ball.
right. That is
Whatever.
it for round 67 of Skip versus Ernestine. We will see you next week
We'll
if
be
in
back.
fact we're still speaking,
She'll
which
be
is
back.
always debatable.
Peace out. Stay well.
Bye.
Bye.